So, hey everybody. Oh god, I'm always awkward when making introductions. My name is Jay Online. I love playing SMITE. I love Terra the most. I think she's the most fun character ever, and I can't get enough of playing her. I can't get enough of YouTube content with Terra games. And frankly, while I do appreciate all you SMITE content creators, I don't think we see enough of it. So, here I am, uploading a Terra game. This is my first YouTube video I'm ever making. This is nerve-wracking. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do with my expression. But we'll get through this. So to start off, I'm examining the enemy team. I realize we have 4 physical gods on the enemy team. Everybody except for Hades. So smart as I am, I figure I'd rush a sovereignty. I also decide to start with Benevolence because I really like that item. Actually, my favorite support starter is War Flag, but I find myself struggling to get the value out of it, especially in Conquest. In Arena, it's a completely different matter. In Arena, you can just show up, you get all the minion assists in the world, and then you cast all your abilities. Get rich, profit. Yeah, but in Conquest, it's a different story. So anyways, Benevolence. Why am I standing so weirdly? I'm trying to get my stacks for Benevolence up before the game actually starts so that I can immediately start to heal when it's needed. Start at the green camp, all fine, all standard. And I decide to not get the extra Hand of the Gods because I don't believe that we'll have pressure. I'd much rather use that slot to get another mana potion in order to last longer in the lane. Because Terra is a mana-hungry goddess, she will run into mana issues frequently if you spam the abilities. I usually start with my 2, and the only exception I make to this is if the lane opponents, if they have a lot of knockbacks, then I like starting with a 3 instead of a 2. The reason is because the 3 lasts for 10 seconds and you're immune to knockups for those 10 seconds, which in some cases just makes you immune to any control that the lane opponents may have. And also because I really like Terra passive for the fact that whenever you put a stone on the ground, as long as it's up, and if you smash one for 3 seconds after it, you get these AoE basic attacks, which means you attack one minion and the damage splashes to all the others. So it's actually pretty good for lane clear. Though the 2 is better for lane clear because you can actually collapse it on the minions as well, so it's a bit more flexible. And another fun trick you get to do is that you can block some shots with it. So if you position the wall between yourself and the enemy hunter, you can actually shield yourself from their basic attacks, which is also kind of neat. So here I get to see that I misjudged the pressure situation, as this Heim is obviously a pro gamer and we get all the pressure we could have ever wanted from this lane. So we keep our lane opponents in tower, and we clear another wave. See how I use the 2 here? I make it look like I'm gonna smash it on the minions, but actually I use it for a few basic attacks so that I can hit all the minions, and then I smash into it, sending shrapnel to hit my opponents. At this point we have so much pressure that I make the call, hey buddy, come on. There's a juicy harpy here. We both know that we need the extra farm. It's extra valuable since we're sweeping it away from our enemies. He gets the point, I let him have the last kill, and we profit. There's another harpy waiting on our side of the jungle, but we want to clear the wave first, obviously, because otherwise we're leaving experience and gold on the table. So we clear the wave. We don't pressure them out, but we poke them out a good bit. Getting some juicy Terra basic attacks with passive. They do a little bit of extra damage, but nothing really noticeable. Hit, hit. This is the standard combo I like to do when I play for wave clear. I use my 3. Oh god, I think this is the part where I get schooled. No, okay, I used my shell and it demoralized them. In this case, I used shell to save myself. It's usually better to save the carry than yourself, but my carry was nowhere near danger, so why not? Just bought me a little extra time in the lane. So I was about to say, when you want to clear the wave as Terra, I think it's really good to use the 3. The simple reason is you get to dash through the 3 and through both the melee minions and the archers all in the same go. You can do this with the wall too, but The wall is useful as its own standalone ability, and the monolith less so. So when you use the monolith with it, you still get the wall. If you use the wall with it, you get a monolith that you can now not detonate any longer. I tried to convince Arheim to go do the purple camp, but I think he's having none of it, so I'm not the carry. I don't get to kill stuff as easily, so I just have to roll with the punches. But maybe I can persuade him to go to this. Oh, look at that. I found a Thanatos inside the jungle. I scream for help. Do I get it though? I think I'm about to get executed now. Juke! I did not juke well enough. But that's not a problem. Heim's gonna let him have it now. Or not actually, because he's only level 4. But that's okay, he should play safe and he gets safely back under tower. At this point I contemplate what my next item should be, but since I ran out of money after upgrading to a full sovereignty and to normal normal wards, I ran out of cash, so that's not a problem for now. I keep walking into my lane where there seems to be a party going on. There's both Heim and our jungler, Mercury. And they're not really fending off anybody, so I just use my monolith to sustain Heim, so he can stay in the lane a bit longer. And I try to help him with the lane clear situation. So I use my wall to clear this time, because the monolith was already used to heal my Heim. I cast Terra ultimate because at this point I'm healing my teammate, and there's also 3 enemies here. If I'm ever gonna get value out of it, it's gonna be now. I do this, use the 3, dash through it, clap, dash through again. It's actually a considerable amount of damage, but it doesn't matter to them too much because there are 3 and they're not leaving. They obviously are winning the lane situation, but the point is that they are staying here, all 3 of them, and as a consequence they're not getting farm somewhere else on the map. So while they are winning the lane, they're losing out economically the longer they do this. But as you can see, the jungler, the enemy jungler, Thanatos, he left. So he's obviously aware of the situation and he went to get farm somewhere else on the map now. This situation is a bit awkward because we're both starting to get kind of low. Me on mana and my Heim on health again. And we're just trying to clear, keep the pressure, and not worry too much. Yeah, I placed the monolith badly here. The monolith can be shot down with 3 basic attacks and Neith just took it out. So that was kind of a waste of an ability, even though we did get some healing out of it. And to a certain point, you could also argue that when the hunters have low attack speed and they focus on killing the monolith, they are just not shooting at important stuff, like they could have cleared the wave also. So at this point I decide to go for a contagion, I think. I still want to stack my physical defenses because their team is mainly physical. We get some flack from our mid laner regarding our jungler, but it's online games, right? What are you gonna do? So, Contagion. Why Contagion? Number 1, it's anti-heal, which we will need because we have a Thanatos and a Hades on the enemy team. They're both self-healing or healing in general. And Contagion is for the physical defenses. As we said, they have 4 physicals. What I also like about Contagion is it has MP5, and I think MP5 is a very much needed stat on Terra. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to get it, especially if you haven't built any cooldown items yet, but if you build, like, for example, a 20% cooldown item, such as a Pridwin, you will most definitely feel that the cooldowns don't match your mana regeneration. Like, you run out of mana super fast at that point. So if I'm able to solve the problem of anti-heal and the problem of physical protections at one point and make the MP5 issue better, then I'll take it. So here we got some kills and I am just waiting on the enemies to come back into lane, so I decide that my time is spent well in that obelisk just to try and get something from him. Found a Hades, clap him, help Mercury get a kill if possible. If not, that's also good. He will have to retire. This is me neglecting my carry. Heim just got killed in lane while I was here with the jungler, which is unfortunate. I don't know if it was too much lack of awareness from my side or just an unfortunate timing on everything. Alright, we're back. And good time to use the ultimate as Thanatos almost got a kill. But he did not quite get the execute. So I'm running circles, I'm trying to find where he will try to escape from in order to block the path ahead of time, but I misjudged and he actually got away safely. I'm just trying to protect Zeus and protect Mercury. Mercury dashes away with a nice ult, but in comes Sun Wukong. And he doesn't quite get the stun off, but he knocks Zeus up. Zeus doesn't seem to care too much. Also, Sun Wukong didn't do a threatening amount of damage, so I'll disregard him for now. Just trying to keep Zeus safe from the Thanatos mainly. I see that his ward situation is lacking, so I try to help him out with placing at least one of my 2 wards there. So I'll have an extra second to run away in case he needs it. There isn't too much going on the map now. This is all standard SMITE. We're just farming until we can get bigger objectives or some ganks or big team fights in order to enhance our position. But as you can see, I still don't have an MP5 item. I don't even have a single cooldown item, and I'm currently running out of mana. So I'm going to touch the tower as our solo laner, the Chalk. He got the obelisk for our team, so the mana sustain is invaluable. In case you never knew, and in case you were wondering, if you get the totem in the solo lane, you get a little bit of gold, but you also get a buff to your MP5. That buff stays on you for about 10 seconds, but it refreshes every time you touch that circle of your towers. Like, it stays on the towers for a while, and you can always go and touch it again to get a refresh on that. So it's actually super useful in mana-hungry characters. Zeus is out of position, but he's with me, so I'll try to keep him safe. We might run into Hades now. No, Hades is oblivious. I try to make some calls, maybe get something going, but if nothing happens, it's also fine. I see a fight breaking out in the dual lane, so I follow my Mercury. His position is a bit more in danger than Heim. Heim can just run under tower if need be. I also am out of mana. I let him know about it, and I try to just keep my teammates safe by blocking them and getting their attention. Attention is like a metric that is not quantifiable, but it doesn't get enough credit and awareness in my opinion, because if you just go up to an enemy character, even if your damage is not that threatening, and even if you're out of mana, oftentimes it demands a reaction from them, and you can save a lot of teammates just by messing with them in this way. So nice, we got a couple of kills again, and I decided it's a good time to back, but maybe I'll stay for another wave and do this, get these chalices for our catapult, sorry, trebuchet. As you can see, our obelisk is now fully powered, so we're gonna get one. I go back to base, I pick up my contagion, and ponder what is the next item I should get. Looking at the Adventure Blade tree and looking at a Lotus Crown, they all seem like viable options. I think I will need a single good magical defense item, so I'm contemplating which one it should be. But I end up not deciding for too long, get a couple of wards. I end up getting a mana chalice by accident, messing with my controller. So, 2 normal wards. And I also want to activate the trebuchet, but I seem to have forgotten that at that point. Wait, here. Making a U-turn and running into the trebuchet. I ping it to let my team know that I'm on my way, but I have to activate it first. I do not believe that message has arrived, but that doesn't matter much. Heim seems to be in trouble. Yeah, there he goes. Probably gonna lose out on the tower too, because it's almost dead by this point. But we have a trebuchet pushing in the right lane, so it's kind of automatically gonna do stuff for us. I just worry more about Zeus at this point. Three-way split this camp. Maybe not ideal, but what can I do? I always collect the tax as a support player. Now Zeus is in a really bad position, but at least Mercury is here with us. I bless them with my Terra ultimate, and they both get bonked really hard for trying to kill us. I guess, yeah, Zeus is actually kind of a bad matchup for Hades, I guess, just because when Hades does his ultimate, while it can be very potent, he is stuck in place for the duration, and Zeus can just cast his ultimate on top of that. Zeus is in trouble now. I'm trying my best to save him. Let's see if we manage. Oh no, Thanatos is gonna execute him. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't have a way to save you. There he goes. Oh, the shame. I tuck my tail behind my legs and I run away as I have nothing to do with the 0 power build I'm currently having. And I consider if I can save this Mercury. I'm gonna put a wall for him to run through. Oh, there's no need. Didn't chase him that hard. He's gonna survive. Look back, Mercury is also concerned for me, I appreciate it. But the main thing is that he got to survive and he doesn't get ganked, he can keep farming to get to the end game in a better condition. So now I decide I'm gonna take a Void Stone. I'm gonna start working on a Void Stone because, yeah, it's just a good item. I want to have at this point a bit of magical protections. If it comes with power, sure, why not? I don't have a power item as of now. I would really want cooldowns at one point, but yeah, some power would also be nice in order to farm a little. Just as a side note, usually when I start with leveling the 1 instead of leveling the 3 or the 2, it's because I believe that in this match it would be the most consistent source of damage, and it's also really easy to farm with. You can argue that the 2 is also, like, both 1 and 2 have the ability to proc double the amount of damage that's described in the text. For the reasons that the 1 you can dash twice, and the 2 you can clap the wall just perfectly so that both walls hit and then they do twice the damage. But I argue that if you are trying to hit players, it's easier to hit them with a dash than to hit them with a wall, because the wall is, you have to lead it, and even if you do, it's not guaranteed to hit them in the center. Arheim gets a kill on the Sun Wukong, good on him. Now I have to protect his ass from Thanatos. No such luck. I place my monolith and I try to make my daring escape. I think at this point I got super stupid and I just teased the enemy for a bit too long. We don't have any other player coming into my lane to help me clean up or to fight them back in any way. So I just overstay my welcome and nothing happens. Which is a lack of awareness on my part. I should have just backed into tower, maybe gone back to base. I don't think they would have taken the tier 2 tower that fast. Yeah, here, I engage on the Thanatos with my 0 damage. Look at this. Such nonsense. I try to make an escape. Do I succeed though? I think I get executed here. Running in circles, trying to confuse him. He's having none of that though. Maybe if I would have run a little bit deeper into the tower, he would have died from tower shots, because, dear lord, these do a lot of damage now. So now, dead, I'm contemplating what other items I should get. I think Voidstone is okay, but I really wanted to get some cooldown items at this point. Nothing much interesting happening on the map right now. All standard affair. I see somebody just dropped the green buff for me, which they did it for their own farm, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I go pick it up, and I decide that I should attack in the right lane. I let my team know. My ultimate is also ready. I come in, I bless everybody. Make sure to clap wherever I can. Nobody, so I do this. Dash through the wall in order to get a second dash and to close the gap. And while closing the gap, I'll pop my monolith on the Sneath. Her position is now compromised, and she is deaded. I contribute a little damage, the least I can do, in order to get some wave clear and to do this objective. And I think at this point my team decides to go do the tier 2 tower, maybe clear the wave before so we can get our minions in. Minions, if they get into the range of our tower, that means that we get to do more damage to the tower, so that's always good. I try to convince my team to do this camp first, but I think my team is having none of it, and I join them doing the tower instead. I punch a tower a few times until it falls, and I decide to back, probably to finish my Voidstone. Then I decide to cancel it, get greedy, and then retreat. I just want to make sure that Heim also survives this, because getting a tier 2 tower is very good. I don't know if it would have been worth it to die for it though. So I hide a little, I see what my options are, and after spotting a Loki and a Sun Wukong, I decide to go back and finish my Voidstone. Now I'll do some more damage, not only because of the power, but because Voidstone also reduces magical protections. It will be good for me and for the Zeus. And I do love reducing magical protections for Zeus, because you all know how much damage he likes to do. Well, that's the unfortunate timing, but what can you do? I get OK spammed, or the entire team gets OK spammed, but that doesn't matter. I think he's been playing well so far. We'll give him another chance. I dash through these harpies. Clearing is really tough when you have little to no power items, so I begin to work on an ethereal staff. At this point I think I've given up on any cooldown reduction items, which I think they are very potent on Terra because you get a lot of control, you get a lot of extra stuns and extra blocks or extra heals. But to be fair, if you're choosing not to build cooldown reduction, you're also gaining extra value. Like, I give my team extra protections or reduce healing on the enemy team. I reduce their magical protections. Every item that doesn't have cooldown reduction has like an extra utility that I'm really seeking out this match, so I'm sort of fine with it. You just gotta make your abilities count and not spam them. Some enemies are here in the right lane and their position is not so ideal, so maybe we can gank. Neath especially. I wait for the dash and I try to wall her in. Walled successfully. Root. Dash through her again. Mercury cleans up. Well done on everybody. Sun Wukong is running away and we're not gonna get him. And I completely whiff that there is a Thanatos behind me. I think at that point I was just super excited that we got the kill and I neglected that there is a Thanatos there. Anyways, I try to wall Loki in. I capitalize on his lack of safe position and I actually get the kill for the first time in the game. I try to rescue our Mercury, so I'm currently on cooldown. The best thing I can do is give him some of the relics. So I give him the shell and I give him Heavenly Wings. He can improve his position better in this way. I try to clap Thanatos, but it doesn't work. So while I'm waiting on my walls to get up again, I try to secure Mercury because I think he's the most compromised one. Zeus is in a worse position generally, but currently not in danger. Now I can block Thanatos. He silences. Still get the root off. Punch. Another dash. He's not going out through here. He decides to run away. And I get the kill on Hades somehow. It must have been my Terra ultimate. Did I cast Terra ultimate though? No, that's not possible. I wonder what happened there. It does happen sometimes that I get a kill on an enemy character with Terra. It's usually with the ultimate though. I get a kill when I wasn't even there and I wasn't looking at them or focused on them at all. And it happens rarely, but I do love it when it happens. That's just a nice and warm and fuzzy feeling. Delicious. So I rush back into lane after having upgraded the next tier in my ethereal staff. I get some more power for my efforts. And now I get to clear this. Still a bit painful, but you know, support stuff. At least I didn't need to use all of my abilities to get it this time. Our Chalk seems to be way out of position over in the right lane. I wonder if I can save him at all, but I think I'm just gonna arrive too late. He's being tossed around and played with, and his health, is disappearing little by little. I used my ultimate a bit too late there. I thought I should use it to guarantee the kill and also to heal the Chalk. Turns out I just used it to heal the Chalk because I was too late. I try to use my Monolith. I root her in place. I was ready to dash further in because I expected that Neath to still have her backflip up, but she didn't end up using it, so it didn't matter. I decide to hang around a little to steal a couple of these goblets, a couple of these holy grails in order for us to have a trebuchet sooner. There is no tier 2 for us in the right lane anymore, and since I have a lot of health, I think it's a wise investment of my time. Now I see that Haim is in trouble, so I come and help him. Here I misplayed. I should have left the wall up a bit longer, because I did get the stun off, but he was also body blocked by the wall, and he would have had to maneuver some way in order to get rid of it. And that would have been the good time to stun him, as he was just about to leave the wall body block area. But it does not end up mattering too much. We gang up on Thanatos and we get the kill anyways. I get a final goblet for my team, and I decide it's a good time to pack my bags and visit the fountain again. I now am the proud owner of an ethereal staff. I decide to upgrade one of my relics to the maximum. This time it's the shell. I think Fortifying Shell is going to be super good because Zeus is a character who is very susceptible to dive-style attacks, which means if they jump him from the middle of nowhere, he's going to have a hard time defending himself, and having a Fortifying Shell reduces basic attack damage and gives him extra health. I think it's going to be really good in this case. The other relic I'm also considering to upgrade later. While I do like the Entangled Wings, or the so-called Root Boot, I think that the Hastened Wings are actually going to be super good because we have both Heimdallr and Zeus to capitalize on it, and I think they both make a really good use of basic attacks and of the Hastened effect. I try to make some gank on Hades, but I get completely schooled and he blinks out. I ended up wasting 2 of my abilities, but since I already have a bunch of MP5, that doesn't matter too much. I'm not going to run into any mana issues, especially if I don't have any cooldown. Another gank incoming from Thanatos, so I use my ultimate and Shell. Hades also joins, but to no avail. I guess our healing at this point was too much, and the Shell also helped protect them, so we end up turning it on them. We get 3 kills, which is very nice. There's a Neith here, but I won't threaten her as is. And at this point I just try to make sure my Zeus survives longer. Give him a little bit of healing, both with my Monolith and with my starter item. With Benevolence. Mercury cleans up. Would have been better for me to stick to him at this point because he was actually in danger, but he ended up not needing my help anyways. So now, after we've cleaned up, I try to make some calls. I try to get my team to do something, like attack the Gold Fury. And we all seem to agree that this would be a wise choice, so I show up. I put a Monolith down, this heals the team while we do the objective. I think this is one of the only times where Terra heal is actually relevant, when the whole group stays in one point. We end up getting the objective no problem with no competition, as we just got a bunch of kills. At this point I ponder to myself, maybe it would have been better to attack the Fire Giant, though I don't think he would have been able to complete it that fast. So I reached level 17 and I have enough money in my bank account to upgrade my Benevolence into either a Compassion or into Animosity. While I do like Animosity, and I think on Terra with the passive, the double proccing is hilarious, I have a lot of trust in my team at this point. I think the Zeus, the Heim, and the Mercury are all natural born killers, and I want to assist them in their task and just protect them from any incoming damage. So at this point I'm giving them protections with Sovereignty, and I'll be taking away the damage, some of the damage that they receive with Compassion, and because I have so much faith in my killers, I just decide to go for this item. As you can see, they even get a lot of damage and cleanup and kills without me being there. So now I make another suggestion. Since we got 2 key kills, sorry, we got a kill on the Hades and the Thanatos, I think we have a very nice advantage. I don't know if we push all the way to Fire Giant, but I suggest we do Pyromancer anyways. The Pyromancer is not going to be an issue, it's like a medium-sized objective. Even just the Zeus and I can finish it, no problem, but Mercury shows up to help us anyways. It's worth to say at this point, I think we should have had some wards to protect us from doing the actual Fire Giant. I kind of don't want to do the Fire Giant because I feel like if we do it at this point with no wards and only 2 kills on the, 2 enemies down, I feel like we would still be threatened if somebody shows up. But against my better judgment, I just decide to shut up and listen to my teammates at this point. They've been doing a lot of killing and a lot of damage anyway, so they have a lot of credibility, in my opinion, at this point. So we just go for it, and we actually managed to get it. So that was kind of nice. Thank you, teammates, for showing me the way. Zeus even decides to hang back and kill one of these greater scorpions, which I wanted to do before we went on the big Fire Giant anyways. So that's kind of cool. Thank you, Zeus. At this point I feel like they're farming mainly for me, as I'm the only teammate that's not level 20 yet. I still have a little bit of farming to do. But of course they're all also farming to get better items. I'm less concerned about giving them last hits though. I think like at this point I'm not only here to collect tax, I'm also here to kill some stuff and get level 20. So I'm looking at the map. I think Chalk got himself into trouble because there's now 3 enemies next to him. But he's also very defensive. He can take a beating. I show up and I cast my ultimate. I wonder if it hits Sun Wukong. I don't know what that interaction is. No, he seems unaffected by the stones. We get a kill on the Thanatos. I guess he got greedy. Loki uses ultimate somewhere near us. Our carries are fine, so I run in with a Chalk. Ah, that's what they were waiting for. Alright. As I turned around, I failed to see that they actually ulted the Loki. He was inside Heim's cutscene ultimate. I signal the team that it's the right time to attack the Phoenix. My frame rates drop something fierce for a second. Hades does his thing. He just teleports in and casts his ultimate on Zeus. So I try to free him and to break some necks. Oh god, Chalk got the kill. Now I'm saying my goodbyes and writing a will because the last tower shot is going to take me out of the match. And into the respawn I go. But we did get like kills on I think 4 enemy members and we got a Phoenix down, so that's actually quite good. I don't mind being killed off for such value. It's fine. Our team keeps cleaning up after we die. I mean, even after we die. And at this point, it's hard to see how the enemy team can recover. We have both right lane and mid lane pretty pushed up. We just took the right Phoenix. So we'll just see what we can affect once we get back into the game. Heim uses his ult, but the ultimate gets beadsed by Thanatos, so nothing will happen to him. I decide that the last item I'm gonna get is a spectral armor. It will protect me from crits. I believe there were 2 people who had crits on the team. I think it's both the Neith as well as Loki. And Zeus is just wholesale cleaning while I'm away, but gets returned to him by Loki. So now we're kind of on equal footing. Actually no, the enemy just had a respawn, so we're 2v3. You know what, I'll just stop talking. It changes so often that I can't even keep track of who's alive and who's not. We're expecting a Thanatos to land on us at some point, I think. Didn't he just use his ultimate? No, he's dead. Scrap that. Just doing some light farming as we wait for teammates to come back, and I try to sustain my Mercury up. Can he do the Gold Fury alone? Oh, interesting. He even won't let me tank it because I guess he wants to go back to the fountain later. Oh. He should have. Since Mercury already did half of this this Primal Fury, I'm trying to hold on to some of it so that we can get some value out of it, and it would have been wasted, but it might not have been the brightest of ideas because it takes me forever. Only now until the Chalk showed up we didn't get any progress. Now we kind of get to kill it. Slowly but surely. And that's not because we're built for it. It's only because the enemy team neglected to have a ward on the Gold Fury or to show up in time to contest it. Well, Fire Giant is about to come up, so that should be the next major thing that we're concerned with. I'm kind of low, so I should probably be backing. I also have relics to upgrade. But I might not get to do that because we're spotting enemies, and that means that there's gonna be a team fight soon, because you know, you can't ignore enemies, you have to go and attack, always. Even if it's not the right, even if it's not the smartest thing to do, it's generally what people do in this game, so. We show up, we clear some red buffs, get some minor bonuses for our next encounter. I try to hang around the Zeus at this point because I figure he is a key player who is also the most susceptible to a dive attack. So it will just do good for the team for me to stay next to him and to shut down the Thanatos if they were to suddenly appear. And suddenly Hades! I push all my buttons and we clear him out. Man, that's really unfortunate for Hades. Like, he played it well. He's supposed to show up and use his ultimate and get a bunch of kills, but it's just not good enough when there's both a shell and heal. I didn't even keep track if they had anti-healing or not, but it just didn't seem to matter at this point. I get stunned by Loki. Oh god, they're cleaning up. Oh lord. Okay, I'm going down. Didn't even get to put up a monolith for my team before that. Thanatos cleans up. The only survivor is Mercury, so we're gonna need him to be defensive. I let him know through VGS, and I hope for the best. Here I contemplated between the root boots or the hastened ones, but I think the hastened ones are gonna be super good, especially for Zeus. I also have enough money for a red pot, so I'm gonna be buying one when I respawn. As you can tell by the interface, I'm playing Smite with a controller. This time I played it on PC, and I'm playing with controller because that's what I'm used to, and I enjoy playing with a controller. I think mouse and keyboard is too much work associated for me, so I enjoy it more that way. But I usually play it on the Nintendo Switch, and I know the Switch version of Smite has a lot of issues, but I still enjoy it for whatever reason. I could just take it with me, and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, maybe next video I'll get to record it on the Switch. Currently, Conquest has had some issues, which is why I played this on the PC. But it seems to be getting better, so we'll see about that. Alright, so we have not lost the game, but we did lose a considerable amount of leverage, I think. Though we are far ahead on kills and on gold, our position used to be better than it is now. But it seems like the enemy team doesn't capitalize on getting the kills as much, because they could have easily gone and gotten a fire giant from having this many kills on us. So we should do our best to capitalize on their ability, on their lack of ability to capitalize, if you get what I'm saying. Huge team fight breaks out. I bless everybody with my ultimate. I use dash just to reposition to save Zeus, and I failed to do so. My abilities were not up. I have 0 cooldown, as you can see, which is ill-advised, but I think could also work if you make the abilities count. I shatter my monolith to clear the wave better, I guess. And I try to keep Sun Wukong in position, but he's gonna be a bird. Can I stun him? I'm not in range, and I think I realized that, so I'm running up. And the root came too late, but that doesn't matter, since Mercury is carrying us so hard that we didn't need it in the first place. Everybody wants to go middle. We just have to make sure... we had one job and we failed at it. Thanatos swooped in and killed our carry. Maybe now we can get a kill on him, though. If not for the root, then the monolith is a bit useful to regenerate Mercury. Mercury seems to be punching this tower to death. Now we're in trouble. We have to get Mercury into safety. So I use my root, and he actually managed to turn it around, but he gets killed by Loki. So I decide to run away and regroup with the rest of my team. Loki doesn't even chase me at this point, I think. I don't know for sure, because he just pushed the invisible button. I call a Gold Fury shot, because I think that we should be able to do this with the Zeus. I started to work on the oracles. I thought it would be some value until the rest of the team arrives, but Chuck shows up, and Chuck doesn't quite devastate the Fury as much as I wanted to, but he still does a fairly decent job, and he made the Fury collide with my monolith, which makes the monolith go away. I want Zeus to show up before I run out of health to do this, so that we get some value out of our time here in this objective. I almost die to it. And Zeus decides to come back. I'm gonna heal us. I can't clap the wall because everybody navigates the Fury directly through my deployables, but that's not a problem because I survived and we got the Oni Fury. Could it have been executed better? For sure. But it doesn't matter much. So at this point we're rich We're gonna get the 3k elixir. It's gonna make us extra tanky, and it's not gonna wear off even after we die. And I don't even need to refresh my red pot. We're good. We're fully itemized. I can at this point also decide that some items are better than others, so I can sell them and replace them with other items. I completely fail at putting the wall where I needed to, but I realize it's not important as the team's grouping up and there's going to be a huge team fight in a moment. So I jog up to my team and give Zeus a high five. I scan the area and see nothing. I think only Chuck is headed towards enemy players. But he seems to be very popular in the mid lane right now, as there's 3 enemies appearing. I show up, I push my bless button, stun somebody in the back, shatter my monolith, push buttons and hope for the best. I activate shell maybe a little bit too late. It doesn't save Zeus from the execute, but maybe it enhances the rest of the team's options while they're fighting, so maybe not a complete waste. I chased the Thanatos in vain, I couldn't catch him. And for some reason I say attack the Titan. I think there was a bad call to make. We only got 1 kill on them and they also got 1 on us, which should be equal. Sun Wukong used a shell. I don't think he needed to. Maybe now that Mercury caught up would have been a good time. Loki quit the game. That's unfortunate. I hope he didn't have any disconnect issues. I've been having a lot of these, especially when I play on the Switch. But we make short work of a Titan. Actually, it's a bit more... There's a bit more suspense than I would have wanted while we end this game, but for sure we'll get this. There's only 800 HP left. And we bring the enemy Titan to its knees. Good job, everybody. Well played. I enjoyed it a lot.